Hey guys, it's Mr. Burns here from A110. We're going to talk today about state and local executive branch. That's the governor, the county executive, the mayor, and everyone else that works in the executive branch at those levels. Okay, here's the 9-box chart. Oh, by the way, state government. There's on the left is your state house, and on the top right is your Fairfax County government center. All right, let's look at the 9-box chart. You're not writing this down. You do have handout number 7 in front of you, of course, as you fill in your guided notes, but this part is not written down. So remember, we finished up the national level of executive branch, and we're talking today about the state and local level. So the governor, the lieutenant governor, the attorney general, the cabinet, and the bureaucracy at the state level. And then when we talk about the local level, there's a bureaucracy there as well, but we really just talk about the county executive and the mayor as those executive leaders there. Okay. All right. So here's our state level executive branch. You see the pictures on the left column of handout number 7. Ralph Northam is our governor, Democrat. Justin Fairfax is our lieutenant governor. And Mark Herring is the attorney general, which is the head lawyer of the country, represents the Commonwealth's interests in legal matters. All three have been under scrutiny. All three are still in position as of when I'm recording this video. All right, let's go down. You're going to fill in what's red. It's going to go in sequential order. So we have the governor, who is going to exercise executive power at the state level. And these powers of the governor are listed in the Virginia Constitution. So that's a document that really oversees and is the guiding force for the laws and the power of government for the Commonwealth of Virginia. The governor can only serve one 4-year term. Okay? They can come back and serve another 4-year term later, but after 4 years, the governor is replaced. So 2021 will be the next election of the governor. Okay? And the Virginia voters, of course, elect the governor. Majority rules, consent of the governed, power to the people, right? Okay? And really the main role of the governor, just like the president, is to enforce state laws. The president, of course, enforces national laws. Now you can pause this video at any time if needed. Okay, we're going to move on. All right, so the next section is the roles of the governor. We talked about roles of the president recently. And the governor has 6 roles. The 2 that you won't see here are chief diplomat and economic leader. Although, you could argue that the governor is the economic leader, although that tends to be more of a focus of the General Assembly with the budget and whatnot. The governor does prepare the budget. But that could be a role of the chief executive. So you're going to write these definitions in here. Try to fit them as best as you can. You notice commander-in-chief is there as well. Virginia's armed forces is called the National Guard. National Guard at the state level, it's a little confusing. But they usually come in and help with any kind of natural disasters, any kind of riot protection, like what happened in Charlottesville a couple years ago. If we had a huge snowstorm with a couple feet, they might send some reinforcements, some equipment to help remove the snow. Executive, similar as the president, enforcing laws, nominating members to the cabinet, executive acts. Legislator, again, proposing laws, coming up with ideas for laws. Chief of state, ceremonies, any kind of photo opportunity. Chief of party, leading the Democratic or Republican Party while in office. And chief citizen, representing all Virginians. Every so often, you just need a cookie. What's your favorite Girl Scout cookie? I like the tag-alongs. Some people like Thin Mints. Others like Toasty Doughs. I'm a big tag-along guy. All right. Continuing on. State cabinet and bureaucracy. So, while the governor appoints members of the cabinet, they are the ones that operate, the cabinet and bureaucracy. Each have their department, operate the day-to-day functions of the government, take laws and put them into action. They write policy. How do you follow a law? What happens if you break a law, etc. And, they're responsible for these things here at the bottom: administering and enforcing laws, regulating aspects of the business and the economy, and providing services that are provided by the state government. So those are some basic things that the bureaucracy is going to do, and that'll look different from county to county, and how they decide to do it. Sometimes some of these bureaucratic actions are given to the states, given to the local governments by the state. All right, let's continue down. I think we're still on the front. All right, there's two other positions in the Virginia government that are elected by the voters of Virginia, and these two can serve 2 terms in a row. Okay, unlike the governor. I think in our Constitution it says that because the governor would have too much power with the line item veto, and they want the governor to remain, not be a tyrant over the state. Okay, so the lieutenant governor is going to be second in command. Just like the vice president, the lieutenant governor presides over the Virginia Senate and casts a tie-breaking vote. And then the attorney general is going to be the one that represents the Commonwealth's interest in legal matters. So, leading that, the Department of Justice at the state level, okay, the department of the attorney general. All right, we're going to be on the back next when you're ready. Again, pause the video anytime you need to. But here's our local level executive branch. Here's some of our local executives: Brian Hill, Fairfax County; David Meyer, Mayor of Fairfax City; and William Holloway, Mayor of Clifton. All right. And again, it's very similar at this level, but you have a different title and you have slightly different responsibilities. The county executive is appointed by the Board of Supervisors, so not elected by the voters. We do elect the Board of Supervisors, and then they pick a county executive. All right. At the mayor is at the city or town level. Again, this is different. A mayor could be elected by the voters or chosen by the city or town council. It depends on what it says in that city or town's charter. They're like kind of local government document. All right. And then at the local level, we also have 4 other positions that are elected by voters. And these are the sheriff, the clerk of the circuit court. I have a couple pictures there. Commissioner of Revenue and the treasurer. And you see Stacy Kincaid is our sheriff. John Frey is our clerk of the circuit court. And I threw one more in there, the Commonwealth's attorney. So that's kind of like the attorney general, but for the county is Ray Moreau. Okay. But these 4 positions right here are elected by Virginia voters. So they are not chosen by the cabinet or bureaucracy or the governor or anything like that, or county executive. All right, that's all she wrote. You need to fill this in. There's a couple more activities for you to do on Google Classroom. Thank you. Rewatch this if you need to. Bye.